Coming up, Stephen was cooking up some curry in the Bay. The Brooklyn Nets look to stay hot without Kyrie, and the Hornets look to get their sting back. All of this and more now on AJM in the AM. Hello and welcome to AJM in the AM. I'm Anthony Mero with episode 36. If you were too busy out of voting this week, or maybe just trashing American politics overnight and you missed all of the games, maybe even playing that new God of War, this episode is for you. Let's get you started with the Golden State Warriors on Monday. We're going to pick things up in the second quarter where Curry starts to percolate. Down by 8, make that 5. Curry had 7 threes on the night, but he doesn't just shoot threes, he can also score in the paint with the best of them. 16 points in the paint, getting behind the defense, gets the nice little layup, but the Warriors are still down in the fourth quarter, down by 11. Bang, hit that little floater and one. They overturn the foul though. Curry comes up limping, but it was not gonna slow him down. 6-point game, 5 minutes to go. Off ball, there's no one better. Give him back that free throw. And one 4-point play, pulling points out of the sky. Now, they're still down by 2 with 2 minutes. Curry hits a nice little stop, pull-up jumper, ties the game. That's the first tie and only tie of this one. Curry throwing daggers. Ends the game. Warriors win 116-113. This was a breath of fresh air for Golden State. Curry going off was huge in their win. They needed all 47 points and every dime pass he created. From the outside looking in, the Warriors have been struggling. Entering this week with a record of 3-7 is pretty disappointing. But the starters would be the best team in the league by far. Their net rating is insane. That bench though cannot keep the momentum with the literal worst net rating in the league. Curry is playing probably the best, most inspired basketball of his career, alongside Clay, Dre, Wiggins, and Looney. But when that bench mob comes in, even with some split minutes with those starters, they fall off a cliff. The Warriors closed their light week off on Friday in a tough game against the red-hot Cavaliers, and Curry was special again. He dropped another 40-piece in what would be a fourth-quarter comeback win. These teams exchanged blows, but it was the Dubs that snuck a dub from Cleveland. This was a great win for the Warriors, as Curry is doing everything he possibly can to get them back on track. From a struggling team figuring it out to a struggling team that may have turned it around, we have the Brooklyn Nets. The Nets have been streaking since Kyrie's suspension. 4 of his minimum 5 games have already passed, but the Nets are 3-1 in that stretch. This week, they absolutely dominated the Knicks on Wednesday, and they lost a nail-biter to the Mavs on Monday. But the Nets' momentum is there. Their defense has been amazing in this 4-game stretch. They've allowed 86, 94, 96, and 85 points respectively in those 4 games Kyrie missed. For reference, every game prior, the defense allowed at least 105 points and 4 times over 120, with 2 of those being over 130 points allowed. So there's something brewing in Brooklyn right now, and we should keep an eye on that. Things are starting to click, and the players seem to be more free-flowing since Kai has been banished to the Shadow Realm. Durant looks re-energized, and the team is absolutely balling right now. This is a very good sign to turn things around for their season, but I also wouldn't be surprised if Kyrie came up in some trade talks if things fall off the rails when he returns. The Charlotte Hornets were snake-bitten to start this season. Between Miles Bridges' domestic violence situation and his subsequent NBA exodus, and LaMelo Ball spraining his ankle before the season started, the team lost their 2 best players. Charlotte has been trying to stay afloat at least until LaMelo returns, but on Monday the Buzz played the Wizards without Beal, trying to end a 5-game losing streak. They hung tight for a while, but they still lost. Jordan Goodwin for the Wiz went a perfect 7 for 7 from the field off the bench, and Rui Hachimura proved to be just enough to hold the Hornets back. The same thing happened on Wednesday when the Blazers came to town. The Hornets just couldn't muster up enough offense to win. They lost by 10, and although they had a solid heat wave in the third quarter, they froze out right after. The Hornets' poor shooting and shot creation has been a problem all season, and it really showed in their Monday night game. The Hornets have the 3rd worst field goal percentage in the league at 44.1%. They still have good players though. I don't think anyone can sit there and say Kelly Oubre, Terry Rozier, or PJ Washington are bad at basketball. But their shot creation isn't elite, which is where LaMelo thrived in making them successful. being able to bail out possessions, score off crazy angles, and create good opportunities for the roster. Even having just Gordon Hayward for that shot creation, the Hornets weren't this bad earlier in the season. But since he went down with that foot sprain, they've struggled to score effectively. Now they're on a 6-game skid before playing the Heat on Thursday, and the game was tight. Heat no hero got pushed to overtime where Jimmy Butler was able to finesse some nice footwork to close out the Hornets. The Hornets did play well, but it's hard to overcome 20 turnovers. Defensively, they were swarming. They got to shooters and they forced Miami into a tough night. LaMelo and Hayward cannot come back fast enough. Some quick side stories. LeBron James injured his adductor again. He's listed as day-to-day, but he was in some visible discomfort against the Clippers on Wednesday, and he was out for Friday's tilt against the Kings. And the Milwaukee Bucks are absolutely balling. I would mention the Jazz, one of my many preseason predictions that I got totally wrong, but the Bucks are going strong without Middleton. They just won a double overtime game versus the Thunder without their big three. They are motivated and just straight up balling. Alright, now this week was jam-packed with some insane plays. Javonte Green was at it again, Tatum dropped an overnight delivery, so many plays, but we only have room for 5. That's right, it's time for the top 5 plays of the week. At 5, Ja Morant leaks out and sees BC, who finishes strong with 2 hands. Ja with the lefty tap and Clark glides to start our top 5. Number 4, the Hawks went flying. Trae Young threw an alley-oop from 3/4 court, and John Collins flushed it through 2 defenders and turned them into tumblers. For 3, Jeremy Grant hit Zion Williamson with the beep, boop, bop, and then jammed it on 4 Pelicans defenders. Grant remixed Zion on his mixtape and then punctuated it by stuffing it home. Number 2, Scotty Barnes posts Caruso but power steps and obliterates Nikola Vucevic at the rim. Scotty went up with absolutely no remorse on Vooch. And at 1, DeMar DeRozan put the Pelicans on the endangered species list. DeRozan caused the commotion with the corrosive explosion, and that's why he was chosen to lead our top 5 plays of the week. We had a busy week in the NBA, even with that extra day off on Tuesday. Some teams are starting to really show what their identity is or can be. Let me know your thoughts though in the comments below. Also, if you like this content, please hit the like and subscribe button to join the Ant Colony. And thank you as always for watching. I appreciate it every single time. And I'll see you on Monday.